So we start by covering our cake. I've already trimmed the cake. You can see now what I'm doing is applying the butter, the mixture of butter and the crumbs. So I'm crumb coating the cake right now. The mixture of buttercream and the cake you are able to bring out of your trimming, those cakes, those leftovers that you got from trimming the cake, is what I mix together to give me the effect I am using now. So after this, we are now going to cover our cake through paneling method using your fondant. Now the main aim of doing this is not because the class is covering of cake class, no. We needed to actually cover the cake so that we will see how the template will be on the body of the cake. Now, to get a sharp edge on your cake, you must always start from your crumb coating. Don't say because it is just butter I'm applying, you don't need to make it that very sharp. This actually will help you as a guide towards achieving the sharp edge. Now I had to run it, make it a bit fast. I hope you guys are not annoyed. I had to make it a bit fast because of our time, to shorten the time a little, because not only the time but your data also is running at the same time. Whatever I am doing, I know that majority of us already know how to do it. But this is actually something I have to do before I can start using the template. So please bear with me in case if this is a repetition of knowledge. So now I have applied my fondant and I'm using my smoother now to make sure it's well placed on the body of the cake. And after that, I will trim and then I will still use my smooth again to join it very well so that the line will not show. Now, for the top side of the cake, the upper part of it, roll out another fondant that should be as wide as the cake. That is the top side. Now, widen the mouth. That's exactly what I'm doing. A little bit before placing it on top of the cake. And then use your smoother and flatten it the more. Sprinkle some of your icing sugar on top and place your board, then flip over. Now the cake I'm using is quite huge. This is 9 inches cake that I am using, and it's 5 layers that got me up to that 10 inches high. So when you are flipping, just be very careful. I've already doweled it. My dowel rod is inside, don't forget, to hold the cakes together. And I've also applied my buttercream in between the layers before doweling the cake. Now this to help it to be stable so it will not slip from each other. So you can see what I did to form my sharp, and you can see the result of the sharp edge. Now actually the cake I'm using, I brought it out from the fridge. It's quite cold. So whatever you are doing when you're working with such a cake, make sure you do it fast. Else before you know it, you will not be able to work on your cake when you see it start sweating out due to the ice. But after some time, the ice will definitely disappear. So now I'm rolling out another fondant, this time around for my template. Now this is our template. Position it on top. Make sure it is well positioned. If it will worry you, just apply shortening on top of your fondant and then position your template. But I'm not using shortening because I think I should be able to work without shortening. So begin to cut according to the shape using your very sharp small knife or your craft knife. When you see it shake, always make sure you position well. If you don't, you continue cutting like that, the shape will change. Now, because it is paper I am using, after cutting, there is still something you need to do. Okay, remove the paper and begin to work on the fondant so that you'll be able to remove any part that is not smooth enough. Remember, it is just a fondant. And as long as touching is concerned, fondant is always ready to answer you. You can do it any shape you like. So now, you can see I'm now trying to trim out some rough parts. And after trimming, I'll use my hand and press it down in order for it to be very smooth. This is what you must do before applying it to your cake. So now this is my shortening. I'm now applying, I like using with shortening a lot. I love using shortening a lot. So I will now apply some shortening on the body of the cake. And after that, I will roll my cutout, the design, and then place it on the body of the cake. Do this gradually. You don't have to be too fast about it so that you will not tear your designs. And then start arranging it on the base of your cake. You can still do it from upside down, but for this class, I am doing it from the downside. Now, after applying it, just gradually begin to arrange it the way it should be according to the design on the paper. So you can see Because the paper I use is a different paper, I am going to be working so that it will give me exactly the shape that I am looking for by trimming out every necessary thing that needed to be trimmed out. I'm not balanced this way, but I just have to show you that I'm doing something to help it. So you can see it has curved just like every other one. So I continue arranging the mouth. You can see some of them are not yet resting on the body of the cake. You continue until it gives you exactly the design that is on the paper, and you know that you are good to go. The same thing if you want to stencil your fondant first. You can stencil the rolled out fondant and place your allow it to dry a little, place your paper on top, and then cut out these shapes, this particular shape, and place it on the body of your cake. It gives you one fine and unique design that you will not regret doing. So use your smoother to work on it so that it will lap on the body of the board, the baseboard. And then cut out, trim out any excess, just like you are making a sharp edge. So you can see this is the main design. The next thing we are going to do now is get some designs out of your big mold, and then begin to follow the lines to decorate the cake. Now I am using green, but I don't intend to use just green. I only needed the green to be a little bit highlight on the cake. So I'm going to be placing the green round the designs, but at the end of the day I'm going to be using my gold on top. There is this shade of green that it will give me that will actually match the design I'm going to be placing on the cake. So to use the mold, just roll out a small fondant in the form of a sausage, and then make sure it's not bigger than the mold. Place it on top of the mold and press down. You're trying to get the design, okay, the bead design. And then use your thumb and just remove excess, and before you know it, your rope is made and you have gotten the design. That's how I did the rest of them. Continue placing them until you go around the on up and the inside of your design. So you can see I've been able to go around the cake using the green. So the next is now begin to put anything at all you want to use. Like I said before, this is what I used. Okay, I trimmed it and I got this, placing it on top of a thick paper. So now I'm going to start playing around with the cake using the rest of the stickers. You can do anything according to your choice. It doesn't matter the design you decided to make with this. You can use it for children cake, you can use it for adult cake. So I'm applying the sticker now on the body of the design. And after that, I'll take my sprinkles. Because the cake is a bit wet now, you can see I am now comfortable throwing my sprinkle and it will stay. But in case if the cake is not actually cold, you can apply a little water using your brush or foam and then pour your sprinkle. It will still stay. So now I've been able to position all my designs. Like I said, the design here is according to your choice. The main cake design is the template design. That is the one I am teaching you today. So now the next, we go ahead with our board. You know, finishing matters a lot when you want to make your cake. Whenever you're making your cake, you don't have to deliver the cake without finishing up the board on the board, because sometimes the finishing brings out the best look of the cake. So now I'm using my steamer. I've been able to steam the parts that are still dusty, and I'm also using my steamer to apply the fondant on the board. You can use your water, you can use your shortening, provided it will give you the same thing. You are still good to go. So you roll out again and put the other side, and then use your smoother to join them very well. And my board is ready. You already know this one. It's just for me to say something. I know you already know what to do here. So now our cake is ready. The next now is to apply your trimming. For my trimming, I normally use Uhu gum, UHE. That's UHU gum. Okay? And unfortunately, the last cake I did, I finished it and I've not remembered to buy a new one. So what I'm going to do now is to use my top bond. I also have a top bond here. So I'm going to use it on the body of the board for your trimming. It's part of the finishing. So, but before I do that, you can see what I'm doing now. I am painting, highlighting my gold on top of the green. You can see what happened. Now you will see a touch of green, and the green now is looking faint, and the gold is taking over somehow. But if you take a closer look on the cake, you will still notice that green is there. That is to say, I did not cover all the green. I applied my gold, but I still allowed the green part of it to show a little. So now I'm applying my sugar beads. If you have tweezer, you can use it to apply it. But my tweezer is bad, so that's why I'm using my hand. Forgive me for that. Now what I have used on top of the cake is just artificial flower. That's what I used with this happy birthday that is dropping down with the Barbie shape. That's all. You can use anything. Now, after applying all the beads, you can take some of your sprinkles and still pour on top of the cake. You can use your gold leaf. You can use anything, just like I said. They will all give you a very fine and unique design. So now, let's wrap our board, the base board. Because my uhu gum is not here, the UHU, I want to manage my top bond. Top bond is good, but one thing about it is it does not hold your ribbon immediately. So for you to do this, you must be patient with it. And then cut off the ribbon and your board is also ready.